I hope you guys don't mind that I have my laptop with me for this. I just wrote down a lot of notes and I have to remember what the hell I said about each song, so it's gonna sit right here. Hi everyone, so this is probably an unexpected video for a lot of you guys, but this was something I wanted to make just for fun. As some of you may know, I do music reviews on a blog that I will link in the description, and I wanted to make this list. I didn't want to make a ton of lists this year. I wanted to make a few lists this year, but nothing as definitive as best singles of the year, worst singles of the year, best albums, worst albums. Partially because I feel like if I did that, people would say, "You liked Ed Sheeran's Divide?" Like, meh! So I decided to do some slightly smaller lists this time around, starting off with every Billboard Hot 100 #1 single from worst to best. There were 12 different songs that topped the Billboard Hot 100 this year, and I'm going to list them off for you guys from worst to best, as I just said. Now, a couple things I want to note real quick. First of all, this is only songs that spent at least 1 week at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. I will make another video, probably tomorrow or something, I don't know, of every Billboard Hot 100 top 10 song from worst to best, but right now it's just going to be #1. So if you don't see something like, I don't know, 1-800-273-8255, or Unforgettable by French Montana and Sway Lee, or some other big song from the year that didn't reach #1, just know that it's because it didn't hit #1 on the charts. Second of all, I want to point out that this video is my opinion, so if you happen to like a song that's low on my list, or dislike a song that's high on my list, great! We can be respectful of each other's opinions. I won't hate you if you liked my number 12 song more than my #1, and I also won't hate you if you disliked my number 3 more than you liked my number 7 or something like that. Opinions are opinions, and different people like different kinds of music, so it's cool if you don't agree with me. You can give your thoughts on each song in the comments section. You can rank them from worst to best if you want. Do as you please, just have some fun with it. Alright, I've also divided these into 3 separate categories. The replay button breakers, which were the songs that I kept returning throughout the year that I really enjoyed. The nice listens, songs that maybe I grew away from or didn't spend a ton of time with but still enjoyed. And then, how the hell did this get to the top? And there's really only one song in that category, so let's just jump right in, shall we? Okay, so number 12 on this list, and the only song that I consider, how did this get to the top, is a song that spent 3 weeks at #1 for some reason, and that's Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift. I wasn't really all that crazy about Reputation as an album. There were a few songs I took away from it and really enjoyed, but otherwise it was a pretty underwhelming album. And this was one of the weaker songs on the record. I mean, I liked the dark vibe that Taylor Swift was trying to go for on this one. I thought it was really interesting at first, but the entire thing, for me, is ruined by the awful, terrible hook. And I'm not even talking about the fact that she sampled I'm Too Sexy or whatever. I'm talking about how boring it is. Like, she builds up all of this, and she creates such a dark, interesting vibe. And then what does it lead to? Look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. Look what you just made me do. Look what you just made me do. Boring, half asleep sounding, and just whatever. She builds all this up and then just goes, whatever. So definitely one of the weaker songs on Reputation, and the weakest of the chart-topping singles this year. The fact that it spent 3 weeks at the top tells me that there must not have been very much competition, or people just must have liked the song more than I did. Moving right along to our nice listens, or our meh tracks, if you will. Starting off with number 11, we have a song that spent 3 non-consecutive weeks at the top early in the year, and that's Bad and Bougie by Migos featuring Lil Uzi Vert. I know. You're gonna expect me to say this, so I'll do it for you. Raindrop, Drop Top, People meme this song a lot. Yeah, that's probably part of the reason it stayed at number 1, because Raindrop Drop Top. I honestly didn't even really listen to this song until pretty late in the year. I think I heard it at the prom I went to back in May, but I didn't even really take in the song all that much. I didn't actually sit down and really consider the song until pretty late in the year. And when I did listen to it, I didn't think all that much of it. The hook's catchy, it's kind of fun. I guess I see the appeal of it, even if I feel like it's not one of Lil Uzi Vert's best performances on a song. Trust me, I've listened to Love is Rage 2 and wrote a review of it. I didn't hate the album, didn't love it either. I definitely don't think this is one of his best performances on a track. Either way, I think it's alright, it's fun, it's decent. It's not something I'll go back to and play on repeat, but I can see the appeal of it, for sure. Moving on to number 10, another song that spent 3 weeks at the top, this time 3 consecutive weeks. That's Bodak Yellow, or Money Moves, by Cardi B. This was a big anthematic song for the year. It was a sleeper hit, no one really expected it to hit the top, but again, it was fun. I listened to it a couple times, I didn't really play it on loop, but when I did listen to it, I had some fun with it. Definitely not one of my favorites, but I thought, it's really braggadocio and not for everyone, but I can see the appeal of a song like this. Not for me, not all that great, but I had some fun with it when I did listen to it. Alright, and at number 9, the big behemoth in terms of chart-topping success this year, the song that spent the most weeks at number 1, in fact it spent 16 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard chart, pretty much topping for the entire summer, and also becoming pretty much the most viewed YouTube video of all time. You guys already know what it is. It's Despacito by Luis Fonsi, featuring Daddy Yankee, and If You Want It To, Justin Bieber. And this was a song that when it first came out, I listened to it a lot, and I really loved it. And eventually I just kind of grew away from it. Not that it really got bad or anything, I just kind of never really felt much motivation to go back. But I do think it's a fun song. I think it feels sexy enough. I like Fonzie's vocals, I like Daddy Yankee's rapping, and on the remix I think Bieber's vocals are quite good. Just nothing that I really want to listen to on loop. But it's still a good song, it's still a song I enjoyed a bit, and there's a chance I might end up going back to it at some point in the future. Maybe next year I'll end up going back to it and saying, this brings me back to the days when this was all over the place in 2017. I'm a nostalgic person, so that's why. Okay, now we get into the replay button breakers. This song actually really could have gone into either nice listens or replay button breakers, but I put it towards the top just because, that's what it was for me. At number 8 on our list, spent 1 week at the top. That's I'm the One by DJ Khaled featuring everyone under the sun. Justin Bieber, Quavo, Chance the Rapper, and Lil Wayne. Yeah, I know. You're probably like, you broke the replay button with that? I'm a 19-year-old that's not really all that demanding in regards to music. Just be fun. And that's kind of what this was for me. Had a fun summer vibe. I liked the instrumental track. Justin's vocals on the hook are quite good. And I had some fun with the rapper's performances on this one, specifically Chance. Maybe that's my bias, maybe it's just because I like Chance a lot, but his part of the song was one of my personal favorites. I didn't listen to Khaled's entire album, Grateful, from this year. I heard some pretty mixed things about it, but regardless of what I thought of the album, if I had listened to it, I can say I did enjoy this track a lot. Actually, when I first heard it, I kind of fell in love and played it literally on repeat about 5 times in a row. Just kind of got stuck in my head, and it was something that I didn't mind getting stuck in my head. Alright, moving on to number 7, a song that had some big staying power, more so than I expected. It spent 8 weeks. Yeah, it spent 8 weeks at the number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. That is Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. I didn't really fawn over Post Malone's previous album, Stoney. I thought it was just okay, and I didn't listen to 21 Savage's album, Issa album, so I didn't really know what to expect out of the song, but it really got me. It was a song I had a lot of fun with. The hook was damn near hypnotic. I love Post Malone's vocals on it. I like the kind of dark feeling the instrumentals give off, and from the little bit I've heard of 21 Savage, I've never been all that crazy about him, but this verse on this song is easily the most listenable he's ever been. And beyond listenable, I think his verse is pretty damn fun. It doesn't really feel boring at all. It's energetic. I liked it. And it's a song that I couldn't stop going back to, for sure. Definitely had some fun with this one. And actually gives me a lot of hope for Post Malone as we continue to his upcoming album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, which I don't know when it's going to be coming out, but hopefully it comes out soon, and hopefully it ends up better than Stoney. Alright, and now number 6 on our list, a song that had plenty of staying power early in the year, spending 12 non-consecutive weeks at the top, that's Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, which I was shocked to say was actually his first ever chart-topping single. You'd think, with how often you heard Thinking Out Loud, that was his first chart topper, but that always fell behind Uptown Funk. This was his first chart-topping single, and it was one that I still found myself nodding my head to and singing along to, even months after its release. Maybe it's my bias, maybe it's because I love Ed Sheeran and I loved Divide, but this was a song that I really liked. It felt kind of different from some of the other Ed Sheeran songs I heard, but I loved his vocals. I loved the hypnotic hook, the fun instrumental track of doom 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 doom. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I think he did a really good job with it, and it's one of the big reasons why I love Divide so much. Alright, moving on to number 5 on our list, a song that spent 1 week at number 1, but continued to play in my earphones throughout the year from another album that I absolutely enjoyed. It's That's What I Like by Bruno Mars. I loved 24 Karat Magic. I didn't get to listen to it when it first came out. When I did eventually hear it, I was kind of ashamed that I waited so long. This was a song that I loved from the very first listen. It was irresistible, it was fun, it was charming, charismatic. I loved Bruno's vocals on this thing. It was a song that just never left my head. It was a song that I continued to sing along to. I kept bumping the hook. It was a song that I just loved. I loved this whole album. There were plenty of really memorable tracks on this thing, but That's What I Like was definitely one of the better ones. Moving on to number 4, a song that spent a week at the top of the charts early in this year, and I think spent 6 weeks at the top in 2016. A song that really grew on me throughout the year because I wasn't crazy about these guys at first. That's Black Beatles by Ray Shremmerd featuring Gucci Mane. This is coming from someone that's never done the Mannequin Challenge. I know this became the theme to the Mannequin Challenge. I never ended up doing it, so I don't have any bias because of that. I just really liked the song. I, at first, wasn't all that crazy about Ray Shremmerd. When I went to see The Weeknd, they opened for him, and I wasn't all that crazy about them. But eventually I listened to their 2 albums, Shrimp Life and Shrimp Life 2, and then ended up really enjoying them. This was one of the songs that I enjoyed the most, another one that just kept ringing throughout the year. I loved the really catchy hook, the instrumental track on this thing. Sway Lee has a lot of fun on his verse and on his hook. Slim Jimmy has a fun verse, and even Gucci Mane, who I'm not even all that crazy about, has a fun verse. So when I can praise Gucci Mane on a song, that's when you know that the song did something right. So this was one that, even without the Mannequin Challenge, remained fun for me all throughout 2017. Moving on to number 3, a song that spent 1 week at number 1 around the middle of the year, I would say. Close enough. A song from one of the biggest albums of the year, Damn. Yep, I'm talking about Humble by Kendrick Lamar. A song that quickly became one of my favorite rap songs. I loved Kendrick's flow on this thing. I loved the instrumental track, the boom boom bam 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 bam. It really just implanted itself into my memory. I loved the hook, even if it was just sit down, be humble. And it kind of paved the way for me to listen to the rest of the album, and it kind of helped influence me to become a Kendrick fan. Originally, I didn't really listen to a lot of his stuff, but this was the song that really got me into Kendrick's material, and I have to thank it for that. I loved it. I had so much fun with it. It was great. I loved Kendrick's really creative lyrics on this thing, and it really made me want to try a syrup sandwich. At number 2 on the list, this, from here on out, is where I just go ultra bias and give 0 craps if anyone cares. At number 2 on our list, the first song that charted at the top this year. It spent 1 week at the top. That's Starboy by The Weeknd featuring Daft Punk. I know, biased Weeknd fanboy, but it's a song that, again, I couldn't stop going back to. I loved the Daft Punk assisted, really dark and moody instrumental track on this thing. I loved Abel's vocals. I loved the hook, the creative lyrics. It's a song that still kind of stands as one of my favorite Weeknd songs, and I'm someone that enjoys a lot of The Weeknd's material. This is one that's easily one of my favorites from him. So, if that's number 2 and it's one of my favorite Weeknd songs, what's number 1? I can feel the hate rolling in already. This spent the last 2 weeks of the year at number 1. It's Perfect by Ed Sheeran, and If You Want It To, featuring Beyonce. I can see some of you guys in the comments right now saying, "You're a freaking biased Ed Sheeran fanboy. That's a cheesy ass ballad. Your tastes are shit." Ah! Calm down. Just because I liked a song you didn't like, it shouldn't be a big deal. I don't know what it was. This was a song that I listened to at one point thanks to Pandora before I'd even listened to the full album, and I fell for it. You know, maybe it's because I'm a young, hopelessly romantic 19-year-old kid, but it's a song that I loved. You know, I'm not the most demanding person in the world when it comes to deep lyrics or anything like that. Just give me a song that I'll want to listen to that'll be nice on the ears. And that's what this was for me. It was nice on the ears. I loved Ed's vocals. The lyrics were good enough to not be cheesy for me. And the remix that had Beyonce only helped me because it added her very angelic vocals to this already great track. Divide is an album that I loved, and this was one of my favorite songs on the album. If I had to go as far as to pick favorites, this was up there. I mean, again, sure, I know for some people it's cheesy, but this was a song that throughout the year I proclaimed to be my future wedding song. I don't proclaim that a song is my wedding song at any point in the year and then not put it high on my list, because that's kind of some high praise right there. It's saying I love the song enough that I'm going to dance with my future wife to this at our wedding. So in that regard, it is at the top for me, and beyond the fact that I say it's my future wedding song, it's a song I've pretty much never skipped when it came on Pandora or Spotify, and that really means something. So, good job, Ed. Divide was a great album. So that's my list of every Billboard Hot 100 #1 single from worst to best. And again, I'm sure a lot of us are going to disagree. Again, putting Perfect at number 1 is not going to be the most popular choice, but I'd like to hear what you guys thought of each #1 single from this year. Which was your favorite? What was your least favorite? Tell me exactly what you thought of each single. Give me your thoughts, and we can have a nice discussion in the comment section as long as we can keep it civil. So that's about it. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to hit the like button, go ahead. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. You don't have to. I won't force you. And I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with the every Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 single from worst to best video. Until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.